What I've done is I've opened up a new spreadsheet. In this worksheet, what we're looking at is the first quarter sales from 2012, a whole bunch of line items of the various sales that have gone through for our Tailspin toys, and we'll go ahead and scroll down and take a look at some of those. We can see there's dates, we can see there's prices, how many units were sold, who bought them, what the toy type is in the category. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and sum up some of this information and present summaries of what actually happened during that quarter. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've defined a name for extended price that represents column H here, which is our extended price, and we'll be working with that in adding some formulas to our worksheet here. So let's go ahead and we'll start off in I5 here, which is total sales, and obviously a total is a sum, so we'll hit equal to indicate we're working with a formula. And what Excel does is going to pop up commonly used functions over here in the name. And what I want to do is select sum. And I'm going to specify the range. And I'm going to say extended price, which I defined earlier. And we can see that I have my sum, which comes to about $18,000. So that's one way of entering a formula. Let's go ahead and say, over here on the left, we have a summation of all the types of toys that were sold and the quantities that were sold during that quarter. Of those toys, which one sold the most? So we'll enter another formula. We'll go, and this time we're going to go up to the home ribbon. We're going to choose this button, which contains a bunch of commonly used functions. In this case, we want the max. And Excel is going to attempt to determine what range we want to select the max from. It guessed incorrectly at this point. So let's go ahead and correct that. We'll specify our range as starting at B5. We use a colon, and we specify the end cell, which is going to be B16 in this case. In blue, it's color coordinated or color coded what we're actually looking at, and it's going to give us the maximum number in that range. We can see it selected 246, which is on line 13. If you do a quick visual scan, you recognize that it's correct. Let's go ahead and explore yet another way to do this. We will go ahead and look for the worst selling toy units. And in this case, we'll go over to the formulas ribbon. We will select this drop-down, which also contains commonly used functions. I'll make a small aside here before we go forward, and I'll point out to you that there are a myriad of other functions that are available to you. You can locate them here on this formulas ribbon, and these various drop-downs are going to group them accordingly. So we have math and trigonometry functions, we have functions to deal with manipulating text, dates, etc. But in this case, we're going to use a really common one. We're going to use min. So we'll select min off this list. And the worst selling toy units, this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag the range. And I can see that it selected 84 as our worst selling unit. And so that's another easy way to do it. Now, one last way to go ahead and do this, we'll take a look at total number of orders. We're still in the formulas ribbon. This time I'm going to go ahead and insert a function. And once again, I said there's a myriad of functions available to you. Sometimes they get a little bit overwhelming, so the ability to search for it becomes handy. I'm going to search for a count. I want a count of how many actual orders were placed. I can see, and I'm going to hit go. It filtered down to functions relating to count. I actually want count, the top one, so I'll go ahead and double click on that. Wants me to specify my range now. I can go ahead and type extended price, hit OK, and we have, if I were to go down below and count the individual lines here, I would come up with 86. It took account of how many rows we actually have in our orders for the first quarter of 2013. So what we've covered is inserting functions, making cell references using names, and the variety of ways that you can go ahead and insert functions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a chance to experiment with some of that now.